Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. We're coming to you live from Bayelsa State, where the focus now is the Bayelsa State Investment Forum, challenges and opportunities. Well, the Commissioner for short, Trade and Investment is actually a tripod, as it tells us. Well, here it's speaking about agriculture. I mean, yes, you say you're also trying to focus on agriculture, but shed a little more light on that, because when people think about agriculture, they don't think about Bayelsa yet. But yet, Bayelsa is an agrarian state.
Absolutely. You see, that's why the backcover of yesterday is this day. You know, I think the governor was a guest columnist on the back page of this day newspaper yesterday. And I think the title of what he wrote was, Bayelsa, the well-kept investment secret, something along those lines. And actually, Bayelsa fundamentally is an agrarian state, agriculture and fishing, farming and fishing. That's what it is. Oil, don't forget, was discovered. Let me even go back. My grandfather was a palm produce trader. That was the mainstay. Palm produce was the mainstay. I mean, the wealth, a lot of the local wealth in Bayelsa State came from palm produce. It used to be known as the oil palm protectorate. That was the mainstay. When oil was discovered, and the history of Nigeria and the story of Nigeria changed, and of course Bayelsa State. So if you take agriculture, for instance, we have some of the best environments for all season rice farming, because of we're in the Delta region. And if you look across the entire globe, right, all the major rice farming regions, we're all in the same region. Thailand, Vietnam, the same mangrove swamp, wet, riverine, creeks, that sort of environment. And that's fantastic for rice farming. And one of the things we want to do is take the model where you have small rice farmers, and that way you empower a lot of people, growing their rice and then selling to a major rice mill, where the rice is milled and sold to the market. So our potential of agriculture is huge. We have some pilot projects. There's one, for instance, that was started by AGIP some years ago, which has now been taken over by the Ministry of Agriculture. That is there. And we want to grow that potential. That's just one. And other areas, fishing. Fishing is huge. We have huge potential in aquaculture. So these are things we want to do, because the benefit of these things is that you involve small-scale farmers on a wide scale. So you have small-scale farmers, and many of them working in cooperatives, and coming together, putting their resources together to bring their produce to the market. That one is one of the exciting things about what we want to do.
Your Commissioner for Work spoke earlier about a plan that you have.
Okay.
And I'm just wondering, I do know that, they are very, very big plans.
Yes.
And most of them might not be achievable within the lifetime of this administration. But one would like to know, for the dreams that this administration has for Bayelsa State, what is the lifespan, or when do you think that all that you plan will be able to materialize, and people can say, yes, we're much closer, we're very close to the Bayelsa of our dreams?
Very good question.
You have a timeline for it?
That's the difference. We have timelines for different things. In terms of infrastructure, for instance, we have timelines of saying that within this current term, we would have put in place some very critical infrastructure. So that has a timeline of this current administration, which is by February 2016, where the governor's first term would come to close. We would have put in place major infrastructural transformation. And that's why you see the rapid pace of the work we're trying to do, to ensure that roads linking all the sectorial zones are finished, making sure that Yenagoa as a capital city is networked properly. There's a ring road connecting the entire city, opening up different areas of the city. That is a major priority. In the healthcare sector, we're also within this administration, within the tenure of this administration, want to ensure that the 500-bed hospital, which has been a project, a long-term project, comes to an end. In the areas of hospitality, because we recognize that if we don't have very good, internationally benchmarked hospitality, it also is not so good. So we're aiming to ensure that within this administration, the major hotels we're working on in partnership with others will come to conclusion. The airport will come to conclusion. So a lot of our focus in terms of, because those ones are time-bound, and so we can fix them within a time-bound context.
So would you say, for instance, would you say you have a 50-year plan, a 10-year plan, 20-year plan? What would you say you have?
We have I would say at the very minimum. You see, what we've done in arriving at our plans, first we came on board and we felt that the deficit from where we're coming from was so huge that we needed to just get ourselves onto a level playing field, okay? Now we're at that stage, and one of the things we want out of this conference is the feedback, the interaction with the private sector. And the next thing, one of the fallouts of this would be collaboratively to then say, where do we go from here? What kind of a roadmap do we want to unfold from here? And with that roadmap, we'll begin to give ourselves a clear, long-term, 10-year, 15-year, 20-year plan. But for now, we identified key areas that we felt, look, you know what, if anybody's going to take us seriously, we need some things are no-brainers. We need to sort out infrastructure. We need to ensure people, hospitality, people can come and visit the state and perhaps stay back. We need to sort out something like the airport, for instance, where that falls on infrastructure. And then we can, so we're now at the point, after this, so this summit is meant to, part of it is meant to be that interactive process, after which, as we listen to the private sector, who are key partners for us, we can then sit down and come up with a long-term plan that encompasses everything.
As Commissioner for Trade, Investment, Industry and Investment,
I mentioned the industry bit because it's also very key. You know, we have an industrial master plan which we're working on. Okay. And that keys in with investments, in ensuring that, for instance, investors, when they come to the state, we're offering them a master plan, for instance, where they can site power, you know, because we want to attract investors and who want to generate power. So that for us is key. And then we also want to have industries sited in Bayelsa State, which is also an investment. But we draw that element out because of the key aspect of investment, which is industry related.
Well, I haven't landed on my question. I was going to ask you.
Make that point.
Yes, very quickly.
Yeah.
What would you say will be your key deliverable?
Okay, as Commissioner.
As Commissioner to Bayelsa State.
My key deliverable as Commissioner to Bayelsa State is to ensure that any willing potential investor coming to Bayelsa State finds a ready, welcoming, enabling environment to do business.
Are you working on the processes within your ministry? Because I would think that, you know, when a potential investor comes, the first stop shop should be your ministry.
Yes.
Are you making the processes as easy and as, you know, with little as red tapes as possible?
Yeah, even before I came on board, you know, the governor had set up something called the Bayelsa Investment Promotion Agency, which is headed by a lady called Ms. Frida Murray Bruce. So that was already in place. And the remit or the task of that agency is to be a one-stop shop so that any potential investor coming to the state has one place they can go to and, as it were, have the whole, everything facilitated from them, from company incorporation to knowing what to do, where you want to site your industry, who you want to meet with, and all of that. You know, so that was already in place. What we need to do is the ongoing process of ensuring that what we have set up is fit for purpose. So we will keep reviewing, keep monitoring, keep getting feedback from those who've interacted with that agency, which is part of my ministry, to ensure that it is actually achieving the objective for which it was set up. So that was already there.